far-right media personality Laura Loomer, a self-identified proud Islamophobe who says she's pro-white nationalism. She's called Kamala Harris a drug-using prostitute and who has been called appalling and extremely racist by Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, of all people. Now, yesterday, we told you how Loomer, who's called for the execution of Trump's political enemies and celebrated violence against migrants, got a ride from Trump on his private jet to this week's debate. How she then accompanied the former president to a 9/11 memorial observance in Manhattan, despite, or who knows, maybe because of, the fact she's a 9/11 truther. We told you how elected Republicans and campaign officials, a la Pat Cipollone, have grown concerned over Trump's increasingly close relationship with Loomer. They certainly seem very close. Many insiders saying she's encouraged Trump to push the conspiracy theories he's now spouting on the campaign trail. One thing is certain, Trump is kind of enamored with Loomer right now.
It's great to have you, and you've been really very special. You work hard, and you are a very opinionated lady. I have to tell you that, and in my opinion, I like that.
Well, I appreciate that.
all of your support, and you've been terrific, and everybody appreciates you. So
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me to sit with you today. It's a pleasure. You're the best. I love you.
First Lady Melania, but lately her name's been back in the news, though mostly just her name, because she was notably absent from both her husband's arraignment in New York as well as from his speech that night at Mar-a-Lago. And reports say that Melania has been so reluctant to re-enter public life that the former president had to beg her to be seen in public with him. You know it's serious. Usually he only begs for 11,000 more votes in Georgia. But on Sunday, she did finally make an appearance with the ex-president, having a very public brunch with him at Mar-a-Lago. It's an Easter miracle. The marriage has risen, or the check has cleared. As you can see, their table was roped off, but it's unclear if that was to keep people away or to prevent her from fleeing. And now there are conflicting reports out there about how supportive Melania intends to be toward her husband during his legal fights and re-election campaign. One insider claims Melania is not now, or hasn't recently taken part in her husband's political events. It's not comfortable for her. Meanwhile, another source says they had a major talk and she has agreed to be on board. Now, it seems contradictory unless they mean on board a plane back to Slovenia. So
Laura Loomer said Taylor Swift, she believes, is in an arranged relationship with Travis Kelce to influence the 2024 election. I think maybe Laura Loomer's in an arranged relationship to affect the election because she's very close to Trump. She's 31, looks like his type. We did an editorial here a few years ago. You're remembering it already. It was basically, who's Trump? Because I said, you know, it's not nobody. He's been a dog for too long. And it's not Melania. I think we may have our answer this week. I think it might be Laura Loomer. I'm just saying.
The interesting thing about all of this that I find the most compellingly amusing, and I know you will, Mr. Hayes, is that Marjorie Taylor Greene seems to be a little bit out of sorts about all of this. And I wonder why that is. I wonder why that is. Cray Cray is upset about even more Cray Cray. Yes. Well, the reality of it is that's all a part of this ongoing, dance of, who's going to be the housewife of Donald Trump kind of thing. Yeah. Who's going to be the closest to him? Who's going to have that influence? But note this, and you put your finger on a lot of it. Donald Trump has these people around him, not because he's seeking advice from them, not because they're offering any particular intellectual insight, but because they affirm his worst instincts. They affirm his bad judgment. They tell him what they want. You show that picture of Loomer standing up under Donald Trump. First question crossed my mind was, where the hell is Melania? Because that's a little too close for a pick. But it's that kind of closeness that Donald Trump's like. So here we are on a Friday night. Getting loomy. Well, there we go.
The Trump-Loomer spectacle, a curious tale of proximity, power, and perplexing alliances. Former President Donald Trump, ever the connoisseur of controversy, has recently been spotted with far-right conspiracy theorist Laura Loomer by his side. And when MSNBC host and former RNC chair Michael Steele starts asking, "Where the hell is Melania?" you know it's getting spicy. Let's unpack this. First, the visuals. Loomer, a political flamethrower who once called 9/11 an inside job, has been seen exiting Trump's plane and hanging around during key events, like a shadow in a MAGA hat. Her appearances alongside Trump are more frequent than Marjorie Taylor Greene's latest Twitter meltdowns. And yes, Greene herself, no stranger to incendiary rhetoric, has thrown shade at Loomer, calling her extremely racist. The irony, of course, is almost too rich to digest. When Greene accuses you of racism, it's like being told by a 5-alarm fire that you're too hot to handle. Steele, like the rest of us, is watching this odd political tango unfold with a mix of horror and fascination. Loomer's influence is real, and it's troubling. At a debate, Trump parroted a conspiracy about Haitian immigrants that Loomer had spread online, because why wouldn't you source your geopolitical insights from a professional provocateur? It's as if the former president has decided to treat politics like a chaotic group chat, taking pointers from whoever can text the loudest, most inflammatory meme. And then there's Steele's pointed question, where is Melania? Ah, Melania Trump, the elusive former First Lady, who seems to have taken a vow of invisibility since her husband left office. Steele's query is more than just rhetorical. It's a scathing observation about the strange dynamics swirling around Trump. When your spouse is conspicuously absent while you're cozying up to a conspiracy theorist with a fondness for physical proximity, well, people start to wonder. It's the kind of situation where you'd expect Melania to swoop in with one of her classic deadpan glares, possibly followed by an icy, "I really don't care, do you, jacket." But Steele's quip is more than a jab at Melania's mysterious whereabouts. It's a broader critique of Trump's relationship with those who enable his worst tendencies. As Steele noted, Trump surrounds himself with people not for their intellectual heft, because, let's face it, we're not exactly dealing with a think tank here, but because they affirm his bad judgment. Loomer is the latest in a long line of individuals who seem to thrive on chaos and misinformation, a mutual reinforcement society of conspiracy theories and grievance politics. Now, let's not forget the most hilarious twist in this saga. Loomer's competition for Trump's attention comes from none other than Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yes, Greene, who has built a political brand on outlandish statements, seems a little miffed that Loomer is getting more face time with Trump. Steele suggested that Greene is jealous, and why wouldn't she be? Loomer's ascension in Trump's orbit must sting for Greene, who probably thought she had a lock on the extremely problematic influencer role in Trump world. So what does this mean for Trump's political future? Well, the fact that he's embracing people like Loomer and sidelining more mainstream figures speaks volumes. Instead of moving toward any semblance of credibility, Trump is drifting further into the conspiracy-laden abyss. And as Steele rightly points out, it's not because he's getting sage advice. It's because Loomer and her ilk tell him what he wants to hear, even if it's wildly inaccurate, or, as in the case of her 9/11 comments, downright offensive. In the end, this whole situation might just be the most fitting metaphor for Trump's post-presidency, surrounded by sycophants, lost in a sea of conspiracy theories, with Melania nowhere to be found.
JD Vance warns against using term fascist, but does not mention that's what Trump called Harris. In the wake of the apparent assassination attempt against Donald Trump on Sunday, the former president running mate, JD Vance, argued in a speech in Georgia on Monday that the two recent attempts to kill Trump are evidence that the left needs to tone down the rhetoric and needs to cut this crap out. Somebody's going to get hurt by it. What JD Vance did not mention was that Trump has repeatedly told the American peoples that his opponent, Vice President Kamala Harris, is a fascist whose election would mean the end of the country itself. In fact, Trump called Harris a fascist at least twice last week alone. She is Marxist, communist, fascist socialist, Trump said at an Arizona rally on Thursday. This is a radical left Marxist communist fascist, Trump said while attacking Harris at a news conference on Friday. This was not news rhetoric. We have a fascist person running who is incompetent, Trump told Virginia resident during a campaign stop in August. At an Arizona rally that month, Trump said the true divide in American politics is between patriots with traditional values and these far-left fascists led by Kamala Harris and her group. JD Vance, spokesperson, did not immediately respond to CNN's request Tuesday to explain whether the Ohio senator is calling on Trump to tone down his language, and if not, what Vance sees as the difference between Donald Trump's words and the words from the left he was denouncing. Thanks for diving into American political buzz. If you enjoyed today's segments, please share your thoughts in the comment below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button. See you in the next video.